In today's video, we are going to go over the top 10 condo buildings in downtown Toronto. My name's Tom Storey. I run a real estate team here in the city. And for the last decade, we've been selling downtown condos. We've consistently been one of the top teams in downtown Toronto. So today I thought I'd re-share this list because I've done this list before, but I want to do it again updated for 2023. If you find any value in this video, all I ask is hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithm show this video to other awesome people like you. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 10,000. If you're currently in the process of thinking about buying a condo in Toronto, I would highly recommend you go watch our Ultimate Condo Buyer's Guide. I'll link it below as well. It's a 45-minute in-depth video of everything you will need to know. You can also go into the first link of the description of this video and book a call directly with me to discuss your condo buying or selling needs. Okay, now let's go over a few ground rules. Okay, this is just my list. This is just my opinion. I'd actually love the comment section of this video. If you think there's a condo that should be on this list, post it below and let me know why, because it'll be very helpful for the people that are watching. Also, all 10 condos I'm going to be discussing in today's video, I have personally either sold or helped someone buy a property in, have done a showing, have been in the unit, but I haven't lived in all these buildings myself. So I'm making this list based on recommendations I've heard from other people. And if you think I'm totally wrong on any of these as well, let me know below. This list is in no particular order. It's not a ranking list. These are just the top 10 overall. And this video is only focused on downtown Toronto. Okay. All right. Number 1 is Waterworks. This is 505 Richmond Street West. This was built by Mod Developments. It's only 14 stories. It's right at Richmond and Brant. This to me is my favorite new building in the entire city. They've got the Y in there as well. They're also building out the food hall. I know they have had some issues recently finding tenants for the food hall with everything that's happened in that industry from the past few years, but the units in there are great. Like in this building in 2018 was selling for like $800 to $1,000 a square foot new construction. Now these units are selling at $1,400 a square foot. It's a unique building. The lobby is beautiful. If I were to go back to condo living, this is probably the building I would choose. I think location's amazing. I think amenities are amazing. I think the way that the building design is great for resale purpose. I think it's always going to be high on a list of buyers. And I don't typically put condos that are less than 5 years old in these type of videos, but I think Waterworks is a slam dunk. Number 2 on the list is 500 Wellington St West. Now, I fully recognize this is a condo building that most people can't afford to buy in. There is only 16 units. It is only 10 floors. I believe that an elevator goes to every single unit in the building. The penthouse unit is absolutely amazing. This was built by Freed Developments. I think Peter Freed called it like his love letter to the city. It's an outstanding building. If I had a boatload of money and was maybe single and wanted to live that downtown lifestyle, this is a building I would highly consider. I'd recommend, if you haven't heard this building already, just look it up on Google. Go check out some of the past listings. That's why it makes this list. Number 3 is going to be a shock to absolutely nobody. We're talking about the Candy Factory Lofts. This just continues to be, in my opinion, the coolest loft in the city. Candy Factory is just an awesome name. The history of the building is cool. It's about 23 years old now from when it was originally converted. You're walking distance to West Queen West. You got Trinity Bellwood. The units are just so unique, so cool. I believe this building will always have demand. Now, it's not cheap to buy in there. These units are selling at over $1,300 a square foot. But Candy Factory, to me, will remain and always, in my opinion, is one of the coolest condos in Toronto. I remember the last time I had a listing in this building, Toronto Life featured it as Condo of the Week. It's just a building that gets people's attention. Number 4 on the list, we're staying on trend with factories, but this time we're talking about Toy Factory Lofts. This is 43 Hanna. This is located in Liberty Village. Now, Toy Factory Lofts is also a conversion that was done by Lanterra. Now, Lanterra, as a developer, they get some flack for their 12 and 14 York Street buildings, but I think they knocked it out of the park with Toy Factory. It was converted in 2008. There's just over 200 units. There are 2 sides to the building. There's like the newer side and the older side of the original building. So keep that in mind if you're looking to buy in that building. But they also have some of the lowest maintenance fees in the city. So you get a building that everyone knows anyways, and your fees are super reasonable. And the units, like you can get 1 bedrooms that are like 1,000 square feet. So they're generous sizes as well. You just got to make sure you're okay with living in Liberty Village because, you know, there's one way in and there's one way out. So traffic is not always great. But if you're looking for that downtown loft where you're close to everything, walking distance, Toy Factory is just always a winner. Number 5 is 8 Charlotte Street. This is the Charlie Condos built by Great Golf. This is at the corner of King and Spadina. This has been and remains to be one of my favorite condos in the city. A lot of people that I know live there. It's a building that I will always highly recommend, except for one type of person. This is a building that, as of me recording this video, does actually allow Airbnb. They're open about it. It's in the condo declaration. So if you are someone that is against that completely, don't buy in this building. But for all other reasons, I'm a big fan of this building. I think the amenities are beautiful. Now, it's not going to come cheap. The units in this building are selling over $1,200 per square foot. It's 36 stories high with over 300 units. Location is A+. Developer, I would give a big check mark to. And I personally know a lot of people that have lived in this building and loved it. For number 6 on the list, we are going to go a little bit east. We're going to Distillery District. This was also on my previous list I had made. We're talking about 33 Mill Street Pure Spirits Lofts. Over 33 stories tall with over 300 units. It's that building that kind of like goes like this. It curves at the end, so you can see it as you're walking into the Distillery District. There's some very unique units that are actually in that pie shape of the building. But some of the units, at least on the higher floors, when you're looking out back at the city, that west view, in my opinion, is like one of the coolest views you can get in downtown Toronto. It could be a little bit loud because you got the gardener and the cars passing there as well, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But everything's in that area. I used to live not far from this building. I've had a ton of clients in this building over the years. It's got great amenities. The front desk knows what they're doing. It's just a really cool vibe. I will now and will probably always recommend, unless something changes, 33 Mill Street, I think, is a great option. Number 7 on the list is a building that was not on the original list when I did my first video. But the more I worked in that building and brought out properties to the market, the more I thought it deserved to be on this list. And that is 110 Charles Street East. This is a great golf building. It was built 12 years ago. It's called X Condos. It's selling at about $1,150 per square foot. I like it for a few reasons. You're not right in the action of the downtown craziness. The views can be amazing from this building. I just sold a unit on the 34th floor with like just amazing views of downtown Toronto. Really spectacular. It is located right across from the Rogers building. So where Jarvis turns into Mount Pleasant. So you can walk over to Yorkville. You know, you can walk over to all the other things happening on Bay Street. And I think it's earned its way onto the list. And that's why it's on our top 10. Number 8 on the list is 650 King Street West and 95 Bathurst Street. So these are buildings that are connected, okay? They were built at the same time. They just share a concierge. These buildings were built by Freed in 2012. Now, early days of these buildings, if you look them up on Google, you may have found a lawsuit where the building was suing the developer because they didn't give them what they actually thought they were getting for interior design of the lobby and things like that. But if you look past that, because that's been sorted out now, this is a great building. We have a ton of clients in this building. Location is A+. You're right at King and Bathurst. And the fees are reasonable, like super reasonable. I don't know what it is exactly about this building. It's probably just managed very well. The maintenance fees are great. It is a building that I would have no reservations recommending to clients. We've actually already sold a few in there in the last year. Highly recommend 650 King and 95 Bathurst. Number 9 on the list takes us to St. Lawrence Market. I will always have a soft spot for this building. I just really like it. It is London on the Esplanade. So this building is 1 Scott Street and 38 the Esplanade. These buildings are located right at front in the Esplanade. You can get to anywhere you need to in downtown. I love the vibe of the St. Lawrence Market area. The restaurants where you can walk to, you can walk down to the water. I've sold many, many units in these buildings over the years. If I was living in St. Lawrence Market, this is probably one of the buildings that I would be focusing on for myself. I like it. I got no issues with it. I think the vibe is cool when you go in. Just, you'll know what I mean if you go check out the lobby one day. Would highly recommend. And we've finally gotten to number 10. Number 10 is a building that I've kind of been watching from afar for a while now. And I always thought I liked it. The more I looked into it, I'm like, you know what? This deserves to be on the list. That is 33 Lombard Street, also known as the Spire. It's located in the St. Lawrence Market community as well, but I feel like for whatever reason, it doesn't really get the credit it deserves. Now, it certainly gets the credit it deserves on the sale prices because the building's selling at $1,200 a square foot. But I feel like it kind of gets lost in the shuffle because it's not a little bit more south like the other buildings in St. Lawrence Market. But 33 Lombard is a building that I just like. I think they have good floor plans. I think they have a good lobby. I think they have good management. It's a building I would recommend to clients without any hesitation. So that's it. There is my top 10 list. But I kind of felt bad because I had a few other buildings that I wanted to put on, but I just couldn't put on. And my opinion could change over time. Keep in mind, this is literally just my opinion. So let's do a few honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is 75 Portland. Really love that building. That was built by Freed. It's in the King West area. Number 2 is 90 Sumac. I just think that building is awesome. Units rarely become available, and they are large and somewhat expensive. But that's a building that I think is, it almost made the full list. The next is 55 Ontario Street. Now, this is a new building built by Brad Lamb in the King East side of the city. Now, it's still maturing because of when it was sold originally. Yes, there are more investors in this building, but just for what exists in that area, that building's one that continues to stand out to me. It rents out very well also. And then there's 20 Stewart Street in King Street West, which is kind of behind Ruby Soho, right beside 66 Portland, which is also a great building. It's kind of hidden away. Not a lot of people know about it. It's got great floor plans. The penthouse just sold for, I think, like $5 million. It was actually the penthouse they used to use to film Suits. It was Harvey Specter's condo in those scenes. The last building I would put on my honorable mentions is 1 Shaw Street, also known as DNA1, which I believe stands for Downtown's New Address when they first launch it. Kind of cool. Little fun fact for you. I like this building. It's located well. I think they have good floor plans. They're functional, and I think it sells at a reasonable price for what you are getting. Thank you so much for watching this video. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is just my opinion. I'd love to know your opinion below. Let's use the comment section as a place to learn about the buildings that are great in downtown Toronto. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.